Game started.
Oh, got a game right away. Now let's see. Let's play e4 here. And let's adjust this. Okay, e4, e6, the French defense. Rolf from Chile. Not the French defense. I think I've seen this setup before. Maybe the same guy. Yeah, I've played Rolf before. Okay, I don't want to play f4 here because the queen check might be annoying, but I can play c4 and just grab a little more space in the center, and then I'm prepared if he pushes any of these pawns forward. I can either lock it up or exchange. So he's got a very flexible setup. He can continue with c5 or d5 or e5 at the appropriate point. Or he could even go, c6, d5 and set up a delayed pawn triangle. And he's not yet putting any pressure on my center, but I don't want to advance anymore. I want to just get these three pawns out there and then develop my pieces and castle. And just stay on the lookout for any changes to the pawn structure. He's going after the e pawn, but it's defended. I might want to stop the move knight to g4. Knight to g4 is always a bit of an annoying move if you want to play bishop e3. But maybe the bishop doesn't go to e3. I could play bishop to f4 instead. If bishop f4 and he plays e5, takes, it looks like I just win a pawn. He can exchange queens. I think that's okay. So bishop f4, he could attack it with the knight, and I could retreat to g3. Let him exchange it, and it would open up a file against his king. I could even consider if he goes that route of castling queenside. He puts his king over there. I'm wondering about just playing queen d2 here. I could sack. I could sack my bishop here. Bishop takes, pawn takes, queen takes with check, but he's defended it, so that sack is out. But yeah, since he's slow in development, why don't I castle queenside and just push my h and g pawns? h4, g4, g5 is what I'm thinking. h4 is supported by the rook and the knight. At some point I probably want to play king b1, get it off this diagonal. So he's going to counterattack on the queen side, yeah. If he takes, I can take back with the knight or the queen. So if I play h4, he takes, knight takes, then he can play bishop takes h4. And if I play h4 takes, queen takes, then he can play knight c3, knight c6, hitting the queen. It's not so bad though. Let's go ahead and get on with my plan. h4, g4, g5. Yeah, actually, yeah, I guess I was wondering for a little bit there if I could just ignore it, but I guess it's not really safe to ignore it with my. Oh no, fell into a tactic there. Yeah, okay, so I couldn't take with the queen. Okay, so sacking the knight here seems like the thing to do. Get two pawns for it. But he's going to pick up this pawn over here, annoyingly. Bishop takes, pawn takes, queen takes, or knight takes, pawn takes. Tough choice. Let's see. Is there other options here? Yeah, don't see it. Don't see any other options. I can take with the bishop or the queen, but taking with the queen at least opens up an attack on his queen and prevents him trading queens. So that maybe is worth something. He can, and he does. Yeah, so he doesn't have the time to grab on h4. He's got to move the queen or block this file. He could play knight d7, probably good move. Forcing me to move my queen again. So after knight d7, where would my queen go? Doesn't really want to go to f5 and be subject to an attack. There is h5, and if g3, then g6, then I can retreat to... okay, just move the queen out of the way. Attacking the f-pawn. Let's see. This is a bit interesting. I was thinking the knight is a bit overworked. It's defending h3 and it's defending h6. The knight is defending h6 and it's defending e7. So I can play bishop takes. He's got queen takes. Okay. Let's just drop back here. Harass the queen. And yeah, he gets over to the king side. It's probably a good strategy for him. Try and shore up his defenses here. So, queen here. Still thinking of playing g5, g4, rook g1. g4, g5, and rook g1. Still maybe a bit of a scary position for black. His pieces over here have not been developed, so I'm down a piece, but in terms of active pieces that are playing, I'm at least equal. And like the knight can jump into d5, hitting his queen and his bishop. But I think the simple plan of advancing the pawn is probably best. g4, g5. Okay, so he's going after counterplay against my knight. And the question is, can I get away with playing g4 and ignoring that? So g4, bishop takes knight, g5 hitting the queen. He can take on b2 with check. And bishop takes c3, then b2 check. King moves, and then the queen moves somewhere. I think I should probably defend. You know, maybe I can play this move. Defends the knight and attacks his queen. So he doesn't have time to play bishop takes knight. He's got to move the queen again. This is still defended. That square is no good. That square is no good. That square is no good. So it's going to get him off the f file. Okay, over here, hitting. He is hitting h2. I mean, yeah, a2. So let's see. g4, bishop takes, g5, queen takes a2. Well, let's play for that anyway. He's just got one queen over here after that exchange. And I've got all my pieces trained on his king side. So the only check he has is on A1. Queen A1 check, king to C2, queen to A4 check, and the king goes back to B1, and then it's his move, but there's no more checks after that. So let's proceed with the attack. I just have to make sure the checks run out so I can't just get out of this with a perpetual. Because I think I have a promising attack here. I think I should be able to break through somehow. And all these pawns and stuff around my king are defended, so as long as the king has a square to go to where there's no checks, the queen is not going to pick up any material over here. The two rooks are defending each other. Bishop's defending the pawn. This bishop's defending that pawn.
Check.
And he has to move the queen again.
Check.
And yeah, it's important that the rooks are defended. And it's also important I can't put my king on the d file because then he gets rook d8 with tempo. So I just stay over here. He can bring a knight in. That's probably his best bet. Knight to c6, and then I attack here. Knight to b5. I can b4. Knight c6 to b4. I probably would have to trade it at that point. But I would have time to exchange at least one something over here. Maybe two. Let's see. Knight c6. Pawn takes h6, knight b5. I can play pawn takes g7 check first. Actually, that's pretty dangerous because the bishop is still here supporting the pawn. King goes to a light square. Maybe queen to the g file, threatening to come in. Looking pretty dangerous for black here. Okay, so he goes with the bishop. Okay, so let's take. I'm going to let him have this pawn if he wants it. He takes with the knight. That's his idea. Okay, f5. How about actually queen f4? Threatening to take the knight because there's a pin on the g-pawn. And let's see, king h7 to defend the knight. I'm thinking of playing e5 and bishop to d3 or queen to e4, lining up on this diagonal. He blocks it. That's good. e5 then, anyway. This pawn is pinned because the rook is undefended on f8.
Check.
He gets the check. That's good. That's good. So I block here.
Check.
Oh, bringing the knight over that way. Okay, so now his rook is defended. Let's see, if I play pawn takes pawn, then he can play knight takes. Okay, I could try rook takes knight, queen takes, pawn takes pawn, and the rook takes, bishop takes, and I can get this guy over here with check. I think I need to do that. I need to get rid of that defender. So my attack may be running out of steam here. Let's see, I have to check this out later with an engine. Let's see, he's got a check here. That's so annoying, these checks. Check here with the queen forces an exchange. But I have a check on g7. So queen here check, queen takes, knight takes, pawn takes g7 check, king moves, and I can grab the knight and grab the rook. And then where will we be? He'll have a knight and I'll have a bishop, and both have rooks. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll be a couple pawns up. And what do you know? So that's if queen f5 check, queen takes queen, knight takes f5, pawn takes g7 check. So we didn't do that. Okay, my light squared bishop is gone. Okay, is pawn to f7 a move? He can take it 3 different ways: knight, queen, or rook. Okay, this pawn is pinned, however, and can't take on. It can't take on g7 right now. So maybe queen g5, putting more pressure on g7, pinning that pawn. Maybe rook g8, g1, rook g1, queen g5, rook g1. He's got knight f7 there, probably is good.
Check.
Yeah, there he goes with the, yeah, I didn't do anything about that. And now this, I can pick up the knight. If he wants to take that pawn. I guess he doesn't have to take the pawn. Okay, but if he doesn't take the pawn, then I'll march this guy in. Let's see, what's going on here? Pawn to h6, he can take with the rook, knight takes. Yeah, not good.
Time warning.
Not good. Really need to get my rook to the f8 square or the h8 square. And this is in the way. And this is in the way. Maybe rook f3 is what I'm thinking. Bishop is covering this square here. Then he finally grabs. Okay, so this is my original plan, was to pin the knight after he takes. And if he defends, I can attack with the pawn. He's got a knight on, that's the difference. Difference is he's got a rook on the 6th row there, so I can't play, I was intending to play h6. Yeah, he he just walks away from it. Okay, so takes. He's still going to be a rook up here. It's no good. Well, let's bring my king into the game.
Check.
I probably should have stopped to defend the h-pawn. Although the knight will get pinned there again. But yeah, I keep losing material bit by bit.
Check.
If he takes, I can pick up the knight. Okay, well, I've got a passed pawn to work with again.
White forfeits on time.
Okay, well, yeah, it was just hard to keep coming up with ideas in that position. That was a pretty interesting game. I will upload this and do a post-mortem. See you guys later. Bye.